If Krishna wants, the temple will manifest. So we can see how uh, Srila Prabhupada showed the way how we should have faith in Krishna. Uh, Even there was an instance where Srila Prabhupada, he asked the devotees to, I think Brahmananda and Gargamuni, he asked them to go to Pakistan, right? And they went very quickly. So then the war broke out there. There was some dispute, and so Prabhupada was concerned about them. And they were put against the wall to be shot. And Brahmananda told Gargamuni, take your bead bag out, start chanting. So when they started chanting, the soldiers let the devotees go. They let Gargamuni and Brahmananda free. So we can see like this how the devotees, they're showing the way, how we should have faith in the holy name. Holy name is not different from Krishna. And we should, the other thing is, if you're always with devotees, you're protected. It's like having a spiritual shield around yourself. Maya cannot enter. Because in the material world, everything is going on by the super soul's direction and the jiva's desires. So Prabhupada says, as soon as one surrenders to Krishna, Krishna takes 10 steps towards that devotee. So in Hyde Park, there was one devotee. He asked the question to Prabhupada, how is it that some people come to Krishna consciousness, others don't? So Prabhupada explained that when you're with devotees, you become literally fatigued over time. You understand the temporary nature of the material world. And he says in the Chaitanya Bhagavad, he explained there's 4 direct manifestations of the Lord: the Vaishnavas, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Ganges, and Tulsi. The deity has to be installed to be fully manifest. But these 4 are manifest directly of all times. So if we take shelter of these 4, then our connection to Krishna is direct. So in the Krishna book, in the story of Trinavarta, the killing of Trinavarta, Prabhupada explains, he says, by developing his eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord, one becomes eligible to create friendship with devotees. So, this is the unique thing with the society of devotees, that even though there may be different natures, devotees may have different natures in doing different things, but because Krishna is the center, everything balances out. Because because when you're serving Krishna, there's purity. Purity comes in, and with the non-devotees, there's no purity. It's just karma, good and bad. sometimes they may seem to be doing well externally, but it's just a matter of time before the karma kicks in, before they get the destiny given to them. But for the devotees, they're directly protected by Krishna, and he paves the way how to come back for that devotee to him. Even though a devotee may have sometimes some weaknesses or attachments he's dealing with, Krishna works in such a way as to purify him, to bring him back to him. An example can be given of this is Tribhunath Prabhu. Now, at some point, Tribhunath Prabhu, he left the movement for 10 years. And then Prabhupada appeared to him in dream and told him, I cannot help you anymore. So then he came back. Then he studied the Hare Krishna festivals. Then at some point he got cancer. And then he told the devotees, because when he was married, before coming back, he had a daughter. So Ravi, who was part of Tribhunath Prabhu's team, he interviewed the daughter and he asked the daughter, what did you think of your father? And she was quite impressed. She said, I didn't know my father was a part of the Hare Krishna movement. But he was doing a business work, salesman in Ireland. So the company really liked him. They thought he was very good. He was getting along well with the company, everything. So the daughter was quite impressed with Tribhunath Prabhu in that sense. But only thing is, when the daughter was young, Tribhunath Prabhu left, so he came to ISKCON. He came back to the devotees. But the only thing she was in separation was that she didn't have his association as she was growing up. But in general, she was very impressed. So Tribhunath Prabhu wanted to see her before he left his body, and he told the devotees, go and take me to my daughter. So as they were going to take him to the daughter, they found the daughter wasn't there. And they couldn't find her anyway. So you can say in this way, Krishna saved him actually. He saved Tribhunath Prabhu from being attached to the daughter again. Because whatever you think at the time of death, you will achieve. So attachment to the family are very difficult to let go of. So Radhanath Swami did the same thing with one of his disciples. The husband got cancer. So the wife asked Radhanath Swami, can she see the husband? And he said no, because whatever he sees at the time of death, he will distract him from thinking of Krishna. So you can see him from behind. So this is one of the things you get saved when you're with devotees. They push you towards Krishna because they know ultimately Krishna is our shelter. So even in my journey in Krishna consciousness, I had an instance where I was on the opposite side of the street of the house, and this one biker came out to me. He was Hell's Angels or whatever. He's strong bike, and he challenged me. He said, "Do you want to have a fight?" So I said, "Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai." I said to him, I'm handicapped. Maybe you have to speak to my father. So then he just said, forget it. But I was praying to Hanuman at that time. So I could see Hanuman gave me intelligence how to deal with it. But you can see how Krishna protects the devotees in all situations. So there's an interesting story here concerning this is Chris Matthews, a youth from Atlanta, USA, started taking morphine in 1986 due to the pressure of youth. Gradually, it became an addiction to get money for his compulsive drug needs. He started robbing people and stores in 1992. While robbing a shop in 1993, he took a heavy overdose and fell unconscious. On regaining consciousness, he found himself in prison hospital. He came to know that the shop owner had called the police. The police had rushed him into a nearby prison hospital, and the doctors had battled for hours to get him out of the jaws of death. In 1994, he was trialed and sentenced to 8 years imprisonment. Heartbroken at being separated from his recently wedded wife, he resolved he would never have anything to do with God henceforward in his life. Soon, however, he realized that the withdrawal pains and the physical and mental rigors of prison life would be impossible to endure without some spiritual solace. In USA, the crime rate has been spiraling undoubtedly for several decades, and the expenditure of the US government on prisons is astronomical. Circular efforts to reform prisoners have met with hardly any success. So the US government allows its prisoners to attend reformation programs conducted by various spiritual organizations. Chris attended classes on Christianity, Buddhism, Kabbalah, and Sufism, Islam, whatever was accessible in the prison, but nothing helped him. After 2 years of fruitless groping from the innermost core of his heart, he offered a fervent prayer to God, begging for help. No sincere prayer ever goes unheard. Within a days after the prayer, he came in touch with an ISKCON prison minister and mailed him a copy of Bhagavad Gita as it is. His physical hardship, mental agony, and spiritual searching combined to make him a ripe candidate for enlightenment. From his very first reading, he felt as if he was being revived by a breath of fresh air. He could perceive the eternal truth within the message of the Gita. I am not the body, I am a soul. I am suffering in the material existence due to my forgetfulness of God. This forgetfulness can be easily cured by chanting the holy names of God. Yeah, so, then he explains how he soon started chanting Krishna's names. When he came out of prison, he got his daughter, taught her everything, and he became one of the prison ISKCON ministers in Atlanta. So, also there is a story with Chandramuli Swami in his book Holy Prison. There was one old lady in the prison. The mother got put into prison for some reason, and she was depressed. So a devotee came and told her, you must start chanting 16 rounds. So she started doing 16 rounds. And the devotee told her, just like Krishna was born in prison, he took everyone out of prison, so you should tell Krishna to take you out of prison. So as she was praying like this, she left her body in the prison. So that shows how Krishna looks after the devotees who are. He says, Lord Chaitanya is he's savior of the fallen, but he's not savior of the duplicitous. So, if someone is sincere and they're weak, Krishna will give them mercy. But to gain this faith in Krishna, one has to be serious. um, and Prabhupada also stressed the importance of seeing through the eyes of Shastra. He said, people stress on physical seeing, but how much can you see physically? Because we have 4 defects. We have tendency to cheat, make mistakes, be illusion, imperfect senses. So we have to see through hearing. So even in the outside world, people see through hearing mainly. So the same thing applies in spiritual life. You have to see through hearing. And the other thing is, in the temple, we are depending on blessings as to make advancement. In the material world, everything is based on karma, good and bad. So it's all karma. There is no blessings. So that's the difference between temple and outside. There's an interesting quote by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'll just try and find it. Let's see if it's here. Yeah. Religion is meant for God. God is meant for religion. When religion becomes more important than God, religion becomes an illusion that keeps us away from God. So Prabhupada mentions this point in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He says, higher than religion is to understand soul, super soul, and relationship in between them. The understanding of religion is to help you sort of surrender to Krishna. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, give up all varieties of religion, surrender to me, I'll free you from all sinful reactions. So if we are doing that, then everything balances from that. But if we get stuck on formalities, then we can get sidetracked. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the class. I was wondering, what does one do when they feel stagnant in their relationship with Krishna? What's like the desire to not connect isn't there more? So.
Well, Prabhupada, he said in one of his letters that if devotees read my books 1 or 2 hours every day, then renunciation will come in. So knowledge is like fire, it burns up ignorance. So through knowledge, then understanding of Krishna will become more stronger, attachment will become stronger. In the Krishna book, Prabhupada gave the example of the gopis when he was disturbing her garments, the pastime is there. Prabhupada, he said, just like a fried chickpea, it doesn't sprout. So, in the same way, if you're focusing on Krishna, how you're doing it, whether it's favorable or unfavorable, you get purified from that. And then your attachment to Krishna becomes strong. So Prabhupada stressed on reading. You have to read. Until the point of you get the higher taste, reading is important. Because Shivarama Maharaj said in his class previously, which is mentioned in Bhakti Aloka, the same point, how in spiritual life you have to go up all the time. It's like a ladder, you can't stay on one place. And if you are qualified to go to a higher platform, you don't take that, you go to a lower platform. You become sinful, in other words. So you have to be progressing up all the time. So you have to analyze yourself. Are you reading every day? Are you discussing with devotees? Like that. And through discussion, then you get deeper understanding on how to go forward, right? Like that. Cyrus.
So, astrology also plays a role in how we connect to God at the moment, because we're moving from Pisces to Aquarius. It's a lot of shifting going on. So, so the malefic planets also very strong and they're pulling. So astrology does play a role in how we are impacted in the current times, and that should be noted as well. Even as sadhakas, practicing sadhakas, we need these things are handy to know how we're being impacted by planetary alignments and all these things currently. So we're going through a very intense period at the moment. We call a reset or a shift, but it's definitely happening globally and individually. So sometimes we feel lethargic or lack enthusiasm because the moon sometimes it's within this full and new moon also having a greater impact currently on us. So.
That's why Shiva Rama said we should be chanting holy name more.
So sometimes it's not because we're lazy or sometimes we might be thinking, what's wrong with us? Or sometimes, but as I say, what's going on now, globally, cosmically, is that we're being impacted a lot more. So, yeah, you just need to shake it off and become more grounded, get deeper.
Question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the class. You mentioned the point about being non-duplicitous. How do we identify whether we are or aren't, and if we are, then how do we become non-duplicitous?
So Bhaktivedanta Thakur said the holy name is accessible to everybody. The poor, the rich, the disabled, the blind, the weak, the strong, they can all chant the holy name, achieve perfection, except the duplicitous. They cannot chant the holy name. The duplicitous means you say one thing and do another thing. You don't stick by the line of purity. You're compromising your purity. Isn't it?
So apparently that statement is not really empty statement, because what's going on is that we heard about the golden age. So it seems like what's happening on the planet globally is paving the way for the golden age to come in. So it's a lot of disturbance and a lot of things will have to be cleared out. So you can expect some turmoil globally, because this is to usher in the golden age.
Haribol.
My understanding.
Jai. Any other questions or comments? Jai. Antaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.